It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Now, today we got to talk about one of the biggest and most unfortunate stories that's circulating in the sports world right now. Former NFL star Cam Newton, former MVP, Super Bowl playing quarterback, led the Carolina Panthers all the way to the championship. Didn't win. Also played for the New England Patriots at one point. He's been out of the league for the last few years. He's created a whole new media conglomerate for himself over the past few years. Different podcasts, different entities. Kind of got acclimated to doing sports coverage and stuff with the I Am Athlete podcast a couple years ago during the pandemic. Unfortunately, over the course of the past couple years, Cam has been really having trouble staying out of the spotlight when it comes to him going to youth camps. It seems that the young players coming up these days don't fully respect him. I don't know what it is about him. Maybe it's because he's still youthful. Maybe it's because he's still willing to talk trash to the young folks or whatever it is, even though that was normally looked at as motivation, something for the players to aspire to and want to get to that level one day. It seems that the youth these days are processing things a little bit differently, and they're taking out their aggression when they approach Cam Newton. Now, there's been multiple instances of him being disrespected at multiple camps over the last few years, but nothing as egregious as what just came out yesterday, okay? Now, Cam Newton was in Atlanta, which is the city where he grew up, which makes this even worse in my personal opinion, because you can't even come back home and do youth outreach for people in your home city, your home state where you come from without being welcomed home with complete and utter disrespect. Okay, now Cam was let's get to the information here. This brawl that took place was on Sunday, and it was a video of Cam at a 7-on-7 football event in Atlanta, Georgia, where you can see him in an altercation with Steph Brown and TJ Brown. As of yet, Cam Newton has not released any form of statement. His team hasn't released a press statement. However, these TSP guys, Top Shelf Performance, they have come out and decided to put their own apology out. Okay. Now, in their statement, which I think is a load of hogwash, bunch of bullshit, they claim that Cam Newton initiated physical contact with Steph, grabbing him by his jacket and trying to choke him, right? This is what they're saying. The TSP concluded their note stating, "The entire incident is profoundly disheartening. We aspire to serve as exemplars both on and off the field, dedicated to cultivating a community that prioritizes the safety of our athletes and their families. Our objective is to nurture individuals of strong moral character. We acknowledge our responsibility for the consequences of our actions and for allowing the provocation to lead us to behave in a manner inconsistent with our usual character." Now, this is a bullshit ass statement that's been put out. Number one, because everyone has seen the footage. Cam was pretty much minding his motherfucking business at this 7-on-7 annual thing. This is something that he's been doing all over the country and has not been physically accosted anywhere else by any other group of young men other than, like I stated, the ones that come from his own hometown. What makes it even worse is it wasn't even the kids that initiated the contact. It was actual coaches from this TSP, Top Shelf Performance, whoever the fuck these clowns are. They claim that they train people at high school, collegiate, and NFL pro level. But how the fuck could that be possible when y'all don't even know how to conduct yourself around one measly pro? It doesn't make any sense to me. These guys actually should have been arrested. These niggas really should have got their ass all the way beat down. Cam showed the ultimate restraint while being approached in the manner that he was. But yeah, man, this is some fucking egregious shit, just to be all the way honest. You know what I'm saying? This was allegedly an invitation only camp and tournament, according to original postage that was put online. I guess I should go ahead and show you guys the promotion that went into this thing. Just give me a moment so I can pull it up on the screen for y'all. So this is the original promo here. I really need this thing to let me resize it though. Like, what the fuck? Alright, bet. So, invite only, Dynasty U, We Ball Sports 7v7 tournament, 18U, so 18 youth. This is powered by Jim Ellis Domestic Auto Group. So there is some high power sponsors here. Jim Ellis, of course, you know they sell cars. Location, Atlanta, Georgia. Event dates, February 24th and 25th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They were playing for over $5,000 in cash prizes. And unfortunately, I don't know if it was the money that got the best of them or what it was, but they went completely out of control. Now, I'm going to show the video. I'm not going to play the sound. Hopefully, this will allow us to get through the video without having YouTube flag it or anything. I mean, it's not super violent, but it is a little bit risque, I suppose. But let's go ahead and run that. Okay. So here you see Cam. He's the tall guy with the high hat. It's about 4 or 5 guys that are rushing him. They're not taking him down off his feet, but he's holding his own. He's really just trying to get them off of him. But as you can see, these players were out of control. These guys, niggas, most accurately depicted, niggas, right? As you can see, security finds their way to Cam. He's safe. He's not knocked off his feet. His hat wasn't even knocked off his head. That is a hell of a Witch's Brew Halloween hat that he's got on right there. At some point, he does say, "I got something for you niggas," or something for y'all. I don't know exactly what he meant by that. You don't hear it in this video because I'm not playing the sound, but that's what he did say. I don't know if he was intending to pop the trunk on their bitch ass, but to be honest, I wouldn't blame him if he did. I would encourage it, honestly, after getting jumped by a group of motherfucking young punks. Now, furthermore, this story has shaken up the entire sports world. So many people have had things to say today just alone. Different sports shows have come out. Shannon Sharp, Cam and Mace, others have come out and said their piece. Stephen A. Smith. I believe We Ball Sports is ran by Cam Newton's company. It's an apparel and sports media company, which Cam runs. C1N is also a youth sports organization that sponsored one of the teams in the tournament. It's hard to really... We Ball Sports co-founder Nehemiah Mitchell told The Athletic that everyone involved in the altercation, including Newton, was removed from the event. So, as of now, it's completely up in the air as to what's going to happen, if there's going to be any sort of legal ramification, if Cam is going to sue, if these guys are going to try to come up and sue Cam, try to get some money out of the situation, because we know how people are, freeloaders. Even though you can see he's not the aggressor in the situation, who's to say that they're not going to try to play this up on some bull-ish? But let's go ahead and play some of the audio of the sports shows that have commented on this situation. Now, first, we're going to play First Take with Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith giving their take on the situation, all right?
But I told his dad this. The first time those campers would have started being disrespectful, I'd have shut it down. I'm not going to. The one thing I will not tolerate is disrespect, especially from a child. Cam doesn't have to do this. Now, it's being reported they might have been adults, they might have been kids. Even the adults, sometimes the adults are worse than the kids. Right. Because what we're starting to see, Stephen A., is that parents are starting to live vicariously through their kids. Right. They weren't able to accomplish something, so I'm going to drive my kid. My kid is about to be the next Peyton Manning or the Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Donald or whatever the case may be. But Cam showed great restraint because Cam didn't throw any punches. He's just slinging people off and trying to keep people up off him. He got one in the headlock. He threw one in the bushes. The other one's coming and somebody threw a punch. Now, I don't know if they were throwing the punch at Cam or trying to hit the guy that Cam had, but this is unacceptable. Security, you got to do a better job. That is Cam Newton. Do a better job of protecting him. They should have never been able to get that close to Cam in that situation. But I just, for me, I don't want any more parts of this. If I'm Cam, I'd shut it down. But he's not, because he really wants to help the kids. He really wants to give back. But it makes it very, very hard for you to give back when it seems like what you're giving back is falling on deaf ears. And it's not all. It's not all. But sometimes all it takes is one bad apple to ruin it for everybody. Stephen A., you remember when you played sports? One person jump off sides, everybody had to run. Right. Somebody get a foul and everybody had to do this, because one person can spoil it for everybody else. But Cam don't have to put himself in that situation. I'm glad that it didn't end worse, because we know how we do when somebody feels like they're getting the best of somebody.
Right.
Next thing you know, they go to the car and they come back. I'm glad it didn't result to that. But Cam, you need to take a deep dive. Either increase the security or just let it go.
I agree with you there.
Now, I fully agree. I think that Cam needs to definitely up his security. I don't know what his whole deal is upstairs, you know what I'm saying, in his head. You know, you get these athletes, these rappers, these entertainers and stuff like that, and for whatever reason they feel like they're supposed to move about amongst the people, and they want to be just like everybody else. They don't want to be, you know, surrounded by security. They don't want to feel like they can't move about comfortably. They want to make sure that everyone knows that they're real, that they're tangible, that they're, you know, still a part of the community. And I think that could be a terrible mistake in a lot of people's situations, Cam included. You know, I saw him doing this podcast called 4th and 1 earlier in the year, about a month ago, and it looked like he was just sitting in the middle of JR motherfucking crickets, just doing interviews with players, coaches, fans at the act that are sitting inside the restaurant and whatnot. And I'm like, yo, why is he allowing these people to be so fucking close to him? Like, I understand you want to do some shit that's live. You want to do something that engages with the community, engages with real people, right? But even at that point, I'm like, yo, where is the security? This nigga need to be surrounded. He needs to be, like, barricaded in by security, not so much that it impedes into the shot, but it just seemed like he was free balling and free flowing. And I'm like, dog, you're Cam motherfucking Newton, dog. You're a multi-millionaire. You're a former NFL star, not just some regular run-of-the-mill ass nigga. Heisman Trophy, NFL MVP. Like, nigga, do you not know who you are? You know what I'm saying? And I understand that, again, he feels like he walks with a certain light. I'm sure he feels that he possesses a certain amount of anointment that shines over his life. And I understand people that feel that way, and I respect that. But at a certain point, you have to move differently if you want to get different results. And again, this is not the first time that Cam has been approached with aggression, although this is the first time that somebody's ever put their hands on him. I think this is definitely something that's going to have to change, and I'm hoping that other athletes and people of note in the community are taking notes by this situation, because this could have ended terribly. Number one, it's not guaranteed that Cam was going to be able to just fend all these guys off. Of course, he's a huge guy. He's like 6'5", 6'6", over 250 pounds, about the size of a fucking professional wrestler. But who's to say that when you get rushed by 5, 6, 7 people all at the same time, that they're not going to get the best of you and injure you or flip you over the fence? Because there was a fence there. Anything could have happened. Even if they didn't necessarily beat him up, they could have injured him. Anything could have happened in that moment. So you got to be more careful, yo. Now let's finish up with what Stephen A has to say.
I really do. That last part that you just said. Here's what I want to say. First things first. We weren't there. Mm-hmm. We only can go by what we saw in the video. But here's what Cam deserves. Cam deserves a reflection upon history to give him the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. Cam Newton does not start fights.
Right.
Cam Newton, who's a big brother, by the way, and could hurt a lot of people.
They found that out the hard way.
That's right. Cam Newton doesn't instigate physical confrontation. We've never seen that in his career, and it's a beautiful thing that you brought up here. Not beautiful in the sense that it happened, but beautiful in terms of really, really augmenting the point about Cam Newton and how he doesn't need to do this. When he was playing, when he was a league MVP, when his career was fading thereafter, but he was still an NFL player, there were several incidences where we saw kids being disrespectful to him. You understand? Being disrespectful to him. And it's an indictment against them, against their parental upbringing, that you would have kids conducting themselves that way towards him. He certainly never put his hands on anybody before. So when I saw the video of Cam Newton, I saw people coming at him and him trying to fling people off of him.
Correct.
If you are under attack, you have a right to defend yourself.
Correct.
So let's make sure that we give Cam Newton the benefit of the doubt in that regard. This is a man that is the former league MVP. And what was the biggest thing about him? Because he was a one-man wrecking crew.
Right.
He ran the football too damn much because he was running over people, doing the Superman pose after touchdowns and all this stuff, en route to winning league MVP, en route to God in the Carolina Panthers, to a Super Bowl appearance against Denver. This man is not known for instigating trouble and physical violence. That's not what he does. And let me tell y'all something. If he wanted to put physical harm on people, he is fully capable of doing it. He has never been that guy. So I'm going to look at that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to say somewhere along the way, someone physically confronted him and put their hands on him, and that is what he was doing, flinging them off of him. So this shouldn't be some situation where we're condemning him, but you are right from this perspective. Cam got a lot of aspirations. He's a smart brother. He's very much accomplished. He doesn't need this. And if people are going to be disrespectful and literally engage in physical harm, then you know what, he doesn't need it. And I think it's sad for me for him to be a black man, to have accomplished what he has accomplished, and to see a bunch of black individuals physically attacking him that way. It was really, really sad to see that. It really was. I don't know all the details, but it's...
I'm going to tell you what, man. You TSP motherfuckers, you top shelf, top flight security ass niggas, y'all need to be suspended from whatever league that y'all are, you know what I'm saying, partaking in, whatever sanction that y'all have, any memberships that y'all have, y'all niggas should be suspended indefinitely for like the next year or some shit. I hate to say that because it's going to affect the kids more than anything, but y'all are a prime example of poor leadership. Y'all are in this man's hometown. He comes here, puts together this tournament, puts over $5,000 on the line for y'all to hopefully be able to go home with, and y'all ruin it for yourselves. He didn't have to bring 5K. He didn't have to show up and bless y'all with his presence. He doesn't have to come talk to y'all. He doesn't have to come provide motivation to you and your students and your upcoming football players. There's even video prior to all of this engagement happening that one of the guys from the TSP team was out here trying to make it seem like, that former NFL, that former MVP, man, all he did was run the ball. He can't do nothing. He can't do nothing with us, you know what I'm saying? And it seemed harmless, but when you really look at it and you see the way that things turned out, it seems that there was just an air of jealousy. It was an air of insecurity. It was an air of like a man that had something to prove on his mind. Like, I could have went to the league. I could have been this, that, and the third. You know, still trying to live out his old high school football, college football dream, or whatever it was that got deferred in his life. He comes in with all this bravado. Next thing you know, before the end of the day, you see him in a fight with one Cam Newton trying to jump this man. So again, unfortunately, it just sucks that you can't even go home to your own community, the people, the places where you were raised, try to do something good for the youth, and you go home. Not to say he's lumped and bruised, because he was clearly okay when he walked away, but just imagine how he had to feel driving home. You know what I'm saying? Going home, telling Jazzy, watch Jazzy about this situation. I did this fucking football tournament today. We didn't even get to complete it because these niggas tried to jump me, right? She's been pregnant with his child. They're about to have their kid, have their family, and all that stuff that they've been working on in their household. Just imagine how she had to feel to know, you know, she's, you know, allowing him to go out and be himself, do the things that he enjoys doing in his life. So much of his life is presented around football and, you know, the sport. And this is the type of shit that you end up with. I hate to see it. And of course, it would only happen in our communities. Had Cam gone out to Nashville or some other motherfucking Knoxville or some other bullshit out in Auburn, but where he played college ball at, you could bet your fucking bottom dollar those white kids, they would not have treated him like this. They would have not have played him like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the parents, maybe some of the other people, some of the locals may not have treated him all that great. Maybe they was talking shit or whatever, but I'm quite sure at his alma mater, they would have treated him, rolled out the fucking red carpet treatment for him. They would have had a great time. They would have had a great game. Whoever was entitled to get their $5,000 would have went home with their money, and this shit would have never happened. But unfortunately, when it comes down to our people, we just don't know how to fucking act. And again, this is something that's been consistent. We see Cam don't be bothering nobody. All he does is try to motivate, give people aspiration, inspiration into their situation, challenge them to make sure that they understand that this profession that they're trying to chase after is not easy, that they need to be on the top of their game, not only physically, but also mentally, making sure that they're on top of their game academically. We've seen him challenging students in those regards, but unfortunately, it seems that some of our folks coming up are the weakest fucking links. And I hate to say it, but I also hate to see it. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates. I will see y'all on the next one. I'm not even going to play Cam and Mace talking about it. Basically, all they were really saying is that Cam needs to be more careful. Of course, you know, they kind of touched on the same thing, saying, just imagine if he actually would have sucker punched somebody or actually took, you know, actual self-defense in the situation where he decided to hit somebody. Next thing you know, people start suing, people start falling out, people start acting like they got concussions and broken necks and shit. Now they want to sue him for $400,000, $500,000, $200, you know what I mean, $20 million in damages. I want you to pay off my lawyer, all my shit, pay off my child tuition and all this fuck shit. I hate to see it, man. I hate it. Absolutely. And this is why, you know, a while back I said, fuck the culture. You know what I'm saying? We be trying to do stuff for our own. We be having these grandiose ideas, and it's not to say that you can't do nothing for your people, but trying to take on that savior complex, that shit is something that's going to leave you depleted in the end every time. Again, I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be safe out there. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city in cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, one fumble. I done came too far to be humble.